Hi, my name is Danny and this is Thursday on Pagan Perspective. This week we're talking about deity and gendered terms. Katie asked the question this week, and it's really about how we see gendered terms and deity and the polarity involved and what that means for our practice and communication. I first want to start by saying that language is kind of a cheap mechanism for explaining all of the stuff that happens in our hearts and our heads and our spirits. So sometimes it's an imperfect communication form. It also changes at a different rate than society's consciousness might change. So with gendered terms like actor and actress, we had a lot of power dynamics and different connotations about what those words meant and who it could be applied to. I think we're beginning to see gendered terms lose their oomph. It's not as meaningful as it once was, and I think there are lots of people in our society working on losing the gendered part of terms that allow more people to feel involved and belonging to fields or practices that once were very gendered. I am obviously not Wiccan, but Gardner, who was a prominent Wiccan leader and founder of many practices that are still in use today, worked very closely with Ross Nichols. And Ross Nichols in the 60s helped turn Obod, or the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, into the modern spiritual practice that it is today. They worked very closely and obviously influenced one another between Druidry and Wicca. You can see in their work that there is some focus on the polarity between feminine and masculine and male and female deity, using god and goddess, those sorts of terms. But at least Druidry has evolved to the point where we use what term works for us. Even if you're in a grove and you're doing ritual with lots of other people, we have specific prayers that say, grant, O goddess, spirit, God, animating force, Jedi, like whatever term works for you, you're encouraged to use. So I think there is room for more evolution, but that we're all working pretty hard on, making it happen for everyone and to be more inclusive. I would also say that Druidry is unique in the sense that we have a wonderful concept called Awen. Awen is often seen as the creative energy or fertility or animating force or oomph behind deity or part of deity. It's often, mentioned as inspiring music or allowing you to find your life purpose. It's a really powerful and meaningful way to connect to deity. I also think it aligns very well with how I see deity personally. I am a panentheist, so I see the universe and deity as being separate, but the universe is kind of the stuff that we are and we interact with, and there's a part of it that is all connected to deity, which is the animating force. I like to see it as the difference between a noun and a verb. Deity is the verb, it's the being, it's the creating, it's the living, it's the dying, it's the action of what we're doing. So for me, I don't use gendered terms as much because I'm not talking about specific deities as like Athena or the Morgan, even though I might reference those names and stories as mythos that have important lessons for me, I really see deity as an encompassing force. So the gendered terms don't really apply to my practice as much. But I will say that because of my spiritual background as an Irish Catholic, I stay away from using God as often, mainly because for me that'll always kind of have the connotation of a God the Father, Jesus the Son, that duality and very male-focused spiritual practice and power dynamic involved in the Catholic Church. So I will often use goddess when I'm doing group prayer or talking about paganism if I'm not using deity. And that's a very life-affirming term for me right now. It's kind of helped me find balance between my spiritual background and what I am living and growing in today. Plus, being a young 20-something woman, goddess is very, powerful and awesome, and it works. So that was my really quick video this week. Sorry about the construction noise. I tried to record outside, but traffic, and then they're doing construction in the unit below me. So noisy video, but hopefully fairly short and sweet. Leave any questions or comments down below, and I would love to hear if there are any other thoughts about Awen or kind of gender neutral terms for deity. I think that's a great way of approaching the topic too. As always, may you find peace in the sacred grove.